We've driven the new Civic and it's really good, but whenever there's a new Civic, we really get excited about the upcoming performance versions. This is the first performance salvo in the Civic lineup. This one right here is the all-new 2022 Honda Civic Si. Visually, I appreciate the more mature, toned-down styling of this version compared to the last gen Civic. There's also a healthy bit of accord in there, and it works really well. The nose is clean, the sides are nicely sculpted, that shoulder line is great, and the overall stance is pretty wonderful. In fact, it rides on a 1.4-inch longer wheelbase, plus the rear track is pushed out ½ an inch. So you have a ride that should be supremely stable at speed, comfortable, and working towards a great daily livability factor in a performance compact sedan. Inside, it's as great as you'd expect if you've already seen the interior of the standard 11th gen Civic, just a bit more sportier here on the Si. We're big fans of what Honda is doing on the inside of this thing. The great singular graded vent is passed along here. You have red gauge accents on clean white gauge coloring, red pinstripe accents, Si exclusive seats, and the shift knob is based on the one found on the last Type R. Oh, that's right, a shift knob. This thing has a 6-speed stick and it's backing up a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Under the hood, the engine makes 200 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. That horsepower is fairly high up in the rev range, arriving at 6,000 RPM, but the torque curve is nice and flat, with peak power hitting at 1,800 RPM and running on through 5,000 RPM. You'll certainly notice a rev-happy engine thanks to a lighter single-mass flywheel. Throttle response is improved, which pairs nicely with that thicker torque curve. So Honda's not messing around with the new Si. It has to be better than the Civic, and I am happy to report that it is. It drives far better than I would have expected this thing to drive. I thought it'd be good. I didn't think it'd be great, especially just under $30,000. You have great brakes, great steering, a nice responsive throttle, and a really slick shifting manual gearbox. Now, compared to the regular Civic, the front brakes are 30 millimeters larger, the backs are 22 millimeters larger. You have 10% shorter throws compared to the other Civic. These seats are so comfortable, they're well sculpted, they look cool too. The big screen works and responds well. The steering is nicely weighted, there's good heft to it. There's also different driving modes. There's normal, sport, and individual. In sport, I just flipped it from normal to sport, and I literally felt the throttle get more responsive just based on the position of where my foot was at the time. This takes a bit of a nod from the old Type R as well. This is the first Civic Si to ever have rev matching, and it is the system pulled from the last Type R. So I'm in fourth, but if I'm entering a curve and I want to go to third, seamless, easy shifts. You can turn it off, of course, if you want to. If you want to be, I'm a hero, I know what I'm doing better than the car. That's fine, I get it. Some of you are actually really skilled manual gearbox drivers, and some of you are not, or you just want to have one less thing to pay attention to and focus on the road and enjoy the great handling and brakes and steering and all that stuff. This gearbox will let you do that. But if you do want to give it the beans, it's up for it. This car hauls butt in the canyon roads in the best way possible. It is flat, it is stable, it is comfortable, it is incredibly impressive at the price point in which it lives. Even outside of the price point, this is a really damn good Honda Civic Si. The base price of this thing, which Honda is calling the best equipped Si ever, starts at $28,315. Or spend $200 more, $28,515, and get the stickier summer tires as well. And no matter which one you get, it's gonna return 31 miles per gallon in combined driving, assuming you're not running this thing to redline everywhere you go. This is a great place for the Civic Si to be. It's well priced, it drives great, and it's awesome and comfortable on a daily basis, and it's priced well to boot. Also, it just leaves us wanting more to find out what's going on with that Civic Type R, because we're never satisfied. Seriously though, this thing is pretty great. I miss my EM1.